Hi, hello, and good evening. It is Monday, October the 14th, and we are chatting the Big Brother 26 finale. We have crowned a new winner in Ms. Chelsea Baham. Much to the you should say this in a negative way, but very much to the delight of a John Dunphy. Baham. So congratulations on winning another draft.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Gina was out before we really got started.
Yeah,
Um,
shockingly, I didn't take this one home. Who would have seen it coming?
I mean, we knew you weren't going to take it home, but I did expect on some level, regardless who it was going to see Cam in one of the final two seats. That I did expect. Just because I figured, I mean, he's a layup.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to sit next to him?
Right.
Mackenzie.
Ooh.
I am Kyle Petty Pasal, and I'm joined as always by my festy besties, John Dunphy Baham and Gina Magino Martin. And this is Strat Chat. You can find us on all the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We are everywhere you want to be. So we said that, am I here? Am I connected?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know how sometimes you get the hiss in the background?
Yeah.
And then the hiss stopped. So I thought I was lost.
Well, I
Anywho,
think honestly, is John might be frozen because I feel like we usually hear his AC and I don't hear it either, and now he's not moving. That might be what happened.
he's the hiss.
Yep, there he goes.
He's the
There he
hiss. Wow.
Code cracked.
And it really says a lot about me that I think that everything is always wrong with me. When really it's the Baham household that's dropped the ball. Any Hoosers, where do we start with this sucker? Obviously, we went to from 4 to 3 last week. That's where we left things off. I did not watch the Friday episodes. I could not tell you anything that Derek had to say. And
Derek was honestly barely in it. It was just like introducing the competition. He wasn't like taking them through the recap or anything.
Okay. And I have to be honest, I really didn't pay much attention to the first part of the HOH or really much of the second. I figured it was a really good time to wash the dishes. Set up the coffee for the next day because these things don't matter. I really didn't care until we got to the final part of the HOH that was going to be played out live, right?
Because also the second one was at least a more engaging competition to watch. The first one really was just like hold on to this thing that's moving. Like it was not exciting as a viewer.
Nothing. Yeah, there was something about you had to destroy Ainsley's mainframe or something and soak her in the goo, and then that's the end of her. That's what.
Which
that's
also,
what
can I just say that? Well, I don't know what happened to the Big Brother budget this season, but can we get that every season? Because this Endgame was so the production value was so good. They had a freaking bird flying in with instructions. I was like, what is happening?
Incredible. It's the power of Suri Fields. That's really what it was.
It was really crazy.
Yeah. Put Suri on and your budget goes up. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. Obviously, it's really most important to me to talk about that final part of the HOH competition between Chelsie and Mackenzie, which I felt was a just bona fide nail biter.
Sweating, Kyle. I tweeted this. I posted it on my story. I was like, plot twist. The last person that's going to get evicted is me from my apartment because I can't stop freaking screaming at this competition.
It was wild. And their faces even like when they were like not sure of something, it's like you almost got
Mackenzie was
to
making
see.
amazing faces.
But so was Chelsea. And they were so similar in a way. I was like, this actually kind of speaks to the friendship that they said they had formed after
Mhm.
day 45. And it's like, I didn't really believe it to be true, right? Because I didn't watch the feeds as much towards the end of the season. And like, this
Sure.
is what Chelsea was telling us. Oh, we're good friends. We're good friends. It's like, are you just saying that so we don't hate you? We're going to burn her later.
Yeah.
And vice versa. It's like, Mackenzie, you're getting duped, girl. You're getting duped. This girl is not your friend. But then to see the way that they were even just emoting the same, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, y'all are reading like actual friends, and I like
It was
that.
also like they were so in sync because even you would see like at the very last second Chelsea would be like, nah, never mind, and change it, and they always had the
And then
same
they always
answer.
had,
I was like,
yeah.
"Will you stop? Someone please stop."
And it was after this competition. So Mackenzie wins, which,
Uh-huh.
congratulations to her. And I think this is where she made her $750,000 mistake.
Absolutely, yes.
Uh-huh. Now, is there a world in which that maybe this wasn't a mistake? Like, is this really, do you think she actually thought she could win against her? Or was it really about the friendship at that point?
I feel like there's a little bit of truth to both because even like it's not that her speech or her answers or anything were bad because they weren't
Right.
bad.
Because
She
she has
just,
a good story. They can't be bad.
of course, but she
Yeah.
also her reads, especially towards the end, were not always super solid. So I don't think she really knew the structure of the house or the way that certain moves were happening in the same way that everybody else did, especially when like her big move that she claimed as like this is the big thing that I did, best thing I did for my game was cutting Leah, which was a bad move for her game, and
Mhm.
B, Chelsea's move, which she then immediately took the credit for. So, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that Mackenzie just had a very different perception about what her game actually was.
That's fair.
I
That's fair,
genuinely
yeah.
do think she thought she could beat Chelsea.
Yeah, and I guess it's also difficult from her point of view because, like, we knew a lot more about the inner workings of Chelsea's game because we saw her DRs and things like that.
Yeah.
If you're not privy to some of that information, you could maybe think that Chelsea's just like truly in it with you. We knew she was the line leader like the entire time.
Well,
Um,
so interesting too because like Mackenzie did very much get misted, but you saw, especially in that jury roundtable, you saw in the jury roundtable, a lot of the jurors did not. There were people that were, like, really trying to give Mackenzie her flowers, but then there were the other people that were like, "Hold on a second. Like, I cannot give her props for doing," especially Quinn, like, kind of cutting in, being like, "I'm sorry. I'm so glad, Leah, that you're not bitter with Mackenzie for cutting you. I can't be on board with it because it was a bad move for her game. I cannot give her flowers for doing
mhm,
something that
mhm.
immediately negatively impacted her."
Right, right. No, I hear that. I hear that.
There he
Um,
is.
welcome back. Welcome back.
Man, rough go out here. It's a very blustery night, very windy. So
It really is, yeah.
maybe I don't know, maybe that.
I'm actually very aware of the fact that it is blustery, because I have that tin roof. And
Oh
I don't
god.
know who thought it was a good idea to plant acorn trees in a mobile home community. But when the acorns drop,
Like,
it's it's very loud. And I also have that covered porch. And then on the other side of the covered porch is my car. So you hear bang, roll, 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 bang, roll, 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 and then a final bang. It's like, would you get out of here, acorns? And you really only hear the roll at night, like when like the TV's not on. But it's a wild thing to hear, like at 1 a.m., like pop. It's like I can't wait for all you suckers to come down. um, you didn't miss much. We were really just talking about how much we liked the season, obviously. How much of the final HOH I did not watch because I really didn't tune in until the very end. Because otherwise I thought it was a good time, to get things ready for the next day. It was a Sunday night. Get the
Yeah.
dishes washed. I like to start the week with a clean sink. Make sure the coffee is set with a timer. So that was that. And really just talking about Mackenzie's $750,000 mistake. Um, And then just kind of going into the merits of that. Like, was it actually an error? Because I could also say, listen, my spirit, if I was playing this game with you guys, yes, I want to win. But if I know that we can both get to the end, I'm not going to cut you.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it. Even like, all right, I know Gina's going to win, but okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you'd fold.
No, it's hard. It is hard. I guess, and it's different for them because they're living it in there 24 hours a day, being stuck with the same people. But I do feel like just thinking, like comparing Chelsea and Mackenzie's relationship to like the three of ours relationship, where we've known each other for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and like like just for years, and then really technically in there they've only known each other for a few months. So like, but I get it when you're just with that person every day and like they're your closest friend. I get that, like it's going to amplify that feeling.
Yeah, you've been in there 90 days, no phone,
Right.
no TV, no music, no real bona fide alone time. Like, I think that accelerates a relationship. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say that it would put us where we are, because we are tried and true, tried against life, the challenges of real life. Like, they're not against that, but their real life for these 3 months has been this. And if you felt supported by that person, and like, I mean, what do you talk about on like Tuesday night when nothing's happening?
Right.
You're sharing all your business. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, like there's no way that like, yeah, that it's, I think it accelerates things. So
It's like you find yourself, I'm sure, telling people in that house about things that you've never told anyone before.
Mhm.
Because there's just so much time.
True. I
Right.
mean, like you can't really do like the small talk. Oh, how was your day? You were there for all of it. We're all having the same day every day. So I feel like after like week 2, small talk is out the window, and it's like, all right, so what's your deepest, darkest secret? Like there's
Exactly.
really nothing else that there is to do.
Absolutely. So, and I think that some of that's the other thing that we discuss. I think it was kind of demonstrated even in, when Chelsea and Mackenzie were giving answers in that final part of the HOH and weren't really sure. They even like made similar facial expressions, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting a glimpse of what this friendship actually is." And
Girlies.
yeah, it does really feel real. So maybe she didn't make a mistake. Maybe she was like, "You know what? Look, I know this is going to be that way, but I can't take this away from her."
Yeah, I can absolutely see pieces to both.
Mm-hmm.
And I was seeing too, like like a post from Chelsea. I don't know if it was Instagram or Twitter, but like Chelsea and Mackenzie walking out the door together, holding hands.
Yes.
And I feel like normally the winner always goes out first, and then the second person will come out after the confetti drops and stuff. And it was like no matter who won, when it was the two of us in those chairs, we said we were going to walk out together, holding hands.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
It's nice. They're nice. They're cute. Good for them. I'm rooting for them.
It also it really speaks to just how likable this cast is. Like, there's literally nobody that I would have been upset to see.
Well, earlier.
Uh-oh.
Listen, I mean, I don't think we've made any bones about the fact that we couldn't care less about Kenny. That's all. The only
nor did the producers, who did not ask him a question. Moving on.
I think I would rather have had Kenny win than Quinn.
Don't say stupid shit.
Yeah, I gotta say that's going too far.
That's crazy. Come on, you don't believe that. You're trying to make me mad.
You can't really believe that. Do you really believe that?
Quinn is just the worst.
Shut up.
If nothing else, he's got an amazing ass.
Listen, I'm just happy that he cracked top 3 for America's Favorite House Guest. Julie literally said his name, and I cheered as if he had won it. Like, I knew he wasn't going to, but I was still like, he made top 3!
I mean, it meant nothing. You knew he wasn't going to win it. Did you think he might?
I'm just genuinely, like, I literally just wanted him to crack top 3, especially since, like, America voted him to be on the block so early on in the game. I'm sure he felt as though he was not well liked, so I just feel like that validation at the very least is like, okay, fine, I'll accept that. Like, I was
you
just
voted
happy
me for the good of the game, not because you don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. All right. Okay.
I think America got it right the first time.
They said it couldn't be done, and there he was, in the top 3, baby.
Well, who said it couldn't be done? I don't know that anyone said that, though.
Oh, literally everybody on BB Twitter was like, you guys are wasting your time.
I mean, it was a waste of time.
We got him there. We got him
I mean, you
there.
got him there. Yeah.
We
It
got him. We
was a
got him to
waste of
third
vote. I
place.
mean, yeah, it's very
I
Jill
love that.
Steiny for me.
It
But
felt very Chills tiny.
all right, you made your point. Like we get it, but that's not it. That's not really not really part of the conversation. Um, this did happen. Blevins chiming in. I split my votes between Angela and Quinn, and Kyle called me. Yikes. Yeah, that was my only response. What more do you say to that?
Nah, baby. 10 votes on multiple email addresses. Thank you. Thank you.
I actually was not super passionate about this one. I actually did not vote.
Oh
I didn't vote
wow.
at all.
Wow.
Yeah. I just felt like Tucker would win. I was not super concerned. I figured I didn't need to waste my time this weekend on it. And I'm very happy to say that I was correct. My votes were not needed, and Tucker took the W.
First pre-juror.
Hmm.
I'm very glad. Very glad that he got it.
Yeah, he looked so good last night, didn't he? My God. Just
So,
salivating.
do you guys know how much money he ended up getting from the show overall?
No.
I saw a tweet that like when you add because the final two doesn't get their stipend because they get the major prize money. Everybody else gets a stipend for being on the show. And Tucker combined the stipend, the instigator money, and the AFP money, won $1,000 more than Mackenzie.
See, that's why I
Isn't
was
that
asking,
crazy?
because I think I saw the same tweet, Gina, because I saw somebody lay out the top three. Like it was like Chelsea, first place Chelsea, $750,000. Second place Tucker, $76,000.
It's
Third place,
insane.
yeah, third place Mackenzie, $75,000.
That is crazy.
That's so disrespectful.
Isn't that
And
insane? Like, how does that
and
happen?
honestly, I arguably he had a better experience. Because he was very likable. He got to go out and go to these parties. Like we got to meet him at
He got
house
to go
talk.
home.
And exactly, he got to go home, relax, chill out, get to
He's
meet
been going
people.
to viewing parties.
Oh yeah, he's been going to so many different things. Every time you look at his story, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be here. Everybody come see me.
Come to Smorgasburg in Brooklyn." It's like, okay.
Uh-huh. And I still made $1,000 more than second place.
It's really wild. It's really
Definitely
wild.
had
And
a
that's-
better experience than most.
I honestly saw a lot of people wanting to not vote him AFP specifically because they were like, we already gave him money. Like, they were just like not having, like wanting him to be AFP
It's
for
like
that reason.
it's not your money. It's not like you
Exactly.
gave your money.
Right. It's not even like it came out of your tax money. Like you have no say here. Like that money's already accounted for.
Yeah.
C doesn't care about Big Brother, unfortunately.
She doesn't do Survivor anymore either.
No. Well, I don't blame her because Survivor sucks these days.
Yikes.
Sorry. Listen, I will go toe to toe with anybody who wants to try and tell me that Survivor US even holds a candle to Australian Survivor. Like, stop
nobody's
it.
saying that.
Just stop it. Just stop it. All right. You did it right in the beginning, and you decided you want to be an innovator and change everything up, and you fucked the whole damn game. I'm sorry. It's true. I am enjoying Survivor 47. This is the best one I think we've gotten in some time, but that still
More than
doesn't put it
45?
on the same level. Who was 45?
45 was D, Jake, Julie, like that whole crew.
I like
Mama
that
Julie.
cast. I can't say that I enjoyed the way the game was played then. I'm enjoying this version of the game the most because we're done with all that silly idol crap. I like how we're winning idols now. It's a little bit more straightforward. It's a little bit easier. People get them in the same episode. I don't like this dragged out, no vote and blah 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 crap. Like it just sucks. It sucks. Like this season, it's so much more straightforward. Let's just cut to the chase. I feel like the whole game would be solved. Well, maybe not the whole game would be solved because the 3 tribe issue is like really a problem. But like, I cannot stand these journeys.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, wait. We're doing Survivor. Yeah, I was going to say, we're doing Survivor in half an hour.
We'll be talking about this in a half hour. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Liz. Welcome back. We missed you, girl.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Hey, Liz.
What's up, Liz?
And I like that Liz is going at Matt in the comments because, there are other pod besties and she's not having it, saying wrong to Blevins, and she's right. Yeah, we missed you too, baby. We missed you too. All right. So Mackenzie chooses to bring Chelsea. Cam was cut. I think that if she went against Cam, she would have won.
Yes.
Hands down. There's really no conversation there. What I really can't wait to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had a differing opinion.
No. I still like when you think about it. I just can't. Like that's why I think I was messaging you guys because I was with my friends, but I was kind of following along on my phone with what was going on in the episode. And like once Mackenzie won it, I was like, all right, I know they talked about taking each other, but like I feel like Mackenzie's got to take Cam here. Like, there's no way that she could be sitting there right now. Like, this is my shot. I'm
Mhm.
not going to do it. And so I was like, I was super nervous. I was like, that's it. I think Chelsea's going to lose. And
I had a feeling she
Mackenzie
wasn't going to do
still,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
still
Well,
went through
even
with it.
I was watching it with James, and he was saying, like, I think my biggest problem at this stage of the game wouldn't even be, like, who do I have a better shot of winning or losing against? It's more so, like, who do I think deserves to win $75,000? He's like, if I'm sitting there and I'm
Mm.
looking at the game that Chelsea played and the game that Cam played, yeah, I might lose, but I can't justify giving Cam's game $75,000 and leaving Chelsea with nothing. Like, that's kind of like where his head was at, which I can see. Like, even if I might lose, I'm at least not rewarding somebody whose game I don't think deserves it as much as this other person.
I couldn't agree with that more. It's funny that you even said that because I had an interesting conversation with someone recently. She's my boss's boss, right?
Okay.
And as a quick aside, I've been complaining a lot about not being connected to senior management, right? It's like, you don't know me. You don't even know who I am. You don't know the good works that I do. So we started what they call these skip level conversations. And that's how I had this conversation with her. And she's like, oh, so, she's asking me these questions. And she said, oh, I thought you did wonderful because I presented on this other team call. And I said, well, I said, honestly, that's not really a big deal to me. I said, I'm a podcaster. I said, I have no problem talking in front of people. And she's like, oh, what do you podcast about? And I said, okay. I said, don't judge me.
I was always like, all right, well, here we
Yes.
go.
I was like, I podcast about my favorite show. I'm like, I talk at least once a week talking about Big Brother. And she went, I love Big Brother. She goes, Evil Dick was like one of my favorite. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, not only do you know the show, Evil Dick?
You're
Yeah,
like
you're
day
going
one,
back.
yeah.
You're going
we're
back.
talking single digit Big Brother. I said, hold up. And we spent 20 minutes just talking about Big Brother over the years and showing her stuff. And that is what she said. She's like, I understand that Cam is somebody to kind of like you want to bring to the end, but how do you justify giving him that money? And I said, I know. I was like, I hear you, but like, how much do I care about like, am I gonna like be so miffed that you're getting 75,000 if I know I'm getting 750?
James literally was like, even if I'm so sure that I'm going to win in this moment, I will tell Chelsea, look, I'm cutting you, but I'm going to give you $75,000 of my prize money because it should be you. I just know I'm not going to win if you're sitting there.
Right, I can have that conversation too. Like, listen, let's go in the bathroom where we know like that. At least should be turning our mics off, right? Because we've never heard tooting and stuff like that in there. So like, let me just bring you in this booth and let's just have a quick conversation. Like, listen, I'm gonna cut the fuck out of you, right? But I'm gonna give you 100.
Like, I'm gonna hook you up, yeah.
Yeah, I'll make sure you set up. I was like, but I gotta win this thing, babe. I gotta win this thing.
Yeah. I also I get like not wanting to reward the person that had the worst game because obviously like it was just recently that we were seeing Mackenzie and Chelsea talk like how could Cam possibly be this bad? Like especially after the BB Comics performance and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like all right, now that you've taken Chelsea and you've lost to her, like Mackenzie, I feel like we'll always have to live with that. Like, if I had just taken Cam, or like, what if I had taken Cam? I could have been the winner. Whereas if you take Cam and somehow lose, it's like, all right, well, I wasn't going to beat Chelsea either. Like, it's like that decision could, I guess, affect like how you think, like what could have been.
I hear that, and I think that's completely valid
Mhm.
in many other scenarios other than this one. Like, I cannot imagine, like, as smart as Mackenzie is, there's no way she thought she would lose against Cal. I mean, he didn't do anything. I mean, come on. Let's be serious. Like, it's just such a ridiculous concept. Like, vote for him for what? Like,
No, that's
if you
yeah.
wanted to be on the Cam side, like, how do you justify a vote for him as opposed to a Mackenzie or Chelsea?
There's
Like,
no
on
way to
what
justify
grounds?
it. There's no way to
Right,
justify it.
right. Like, come on, Mackenzie, you better than that.
Yeah,
You're
it's
project
like
manager.
there's an argument for how he made it that far, but not an argument for how you should vote for him
Winning.
over the other two. Yeah,
Absolutely. Not to bring another Survivor term into this, but he's absolutely a GOAT.
right.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because there was a chance too that Mackenzie. I mean, I think that there was a point where she really was thinking about just cutting Cam. You know, like it's not like, especially recently, it's not like you can point to Cam's game, like his social game, as what's gotten him like to a certain level. Like, because I feel like there was a point where Chelsie and Mackenzie were just never going to cut him. You know, it was like it's not about his social game. Maybe until you know. Maybe it was good until you get to like jury and like a little bit after, but I feel like lately it's been strictly just Chelsie and Mackenzie protecting him, not anything that he's done.
Not at all. Not at all. You know what I'm really excited to talk about? You have something else?
No, I was just laughing because I was just thinking about how many times over the last few episodes we've seen Cam be like, "I've gotten so close to winning. This one is mine to win," and then he just loses again.
Just constant.
The last horse I had in this
L.
He was all I had left. I was nothing more than a dog at the crib on finale night.
Exactly. Woof woof. Woof woof. I do want to talk very quickly about the jury roundtable. Dr. Will retired. He's done. Thank goodness, because who cares anymore? And
you should have left like a goodbye message.
I don't need one
for the cast.
Your goodbye message was your ill-fated appearance on the Traitors. I'm over it. I couldn't care less. So our new jury roundtable host is none other than the incomparable icon, living legend, Big Brother 24 winner, Miss Taylor Hale. And I was living for every single moment of it.
Yeah.
They were excited to see her. She was excited to be there. Before she even started asking questions, there was an energy in that roundtable that we have not seen in years. And it was
so good.
It was so good. It was so good. It's like I stopped looking forward to the roundtable.
Yeah.
After some years. And like now it's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what Taylor thinks about this. And I think we discussed a little bit about this like before, but Taylor, being the fact that she was a recruit, but has completely immersed herself in this community. She has done everything right in terms of like embracing this fandom. And like, she's like, no, I know I have some things to learn. I'm going to watch some old seasons. I'm going to get into it. And she's in it and she digs it. You know, and it's so cool just to watch her journey with this show.
Yes.
Starting as somebody who didn't know a whole lot, got bullied the whole time, was able to rally, wins the show. Now she gets to come back and host one of the most impactful conversations we see the entire season. It's just an amazing arc, and someone who actually respects the game. You know.
Yeah. I was going to say, I really loved about it because I feel like in a lot of the Dr. Will roundtables, it is a very Julie approach where it's like, you know, he hasn't been watching the season. They give him the cards and tell him what to ask questions about. Whereas Taylor not only was like very in the conversation because she knew the drill, she was giving it back to people. Angela would say something and she would be like, now hold on a second. And she would go back at her. And she was like, kind of like giving it to them. And I was like, okay, like this is the conversation I want to see. Like, yes, push back, ask them the real questions.
Because she watches, she pays attention, and she knows. Like, Dr. Will has been so disconnected from this entire thing the entire time. And like, she's in it. It's so appropriate.
Yeah. No, I love that she like literally got Angela to turn her like to change up right away. Yeah. It was like Angela's sitting there. She ever since she got evicted, she's been just throwing so much hate on Chelsie, right? And like in this moment, I think this is the exact moment you're talking about, Gina, when Taylor went back at her because Angela was like, "Well, I would never vote for that. This thing that Chelsie did, like I would never vote for someone who played like that." And Taylor was like, "But didn't you do the exact same thing?"
Yes.
And Angela was like, "All right, fine. I guess I did do the exact same thing."
Yes, and you can only do that if you actually watched.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought Taylor was
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you right there. I watched your game, and it was that, so let's not play this game. And I was like, get her!
Right. Hold on. If we're going to have a conversation, let's have a conversation. Right. Yeah. Really refreshing. I really loved her, and she looked
Can you
So
She looks
imagine
amazing.
fucking
Yeah.
good.
imagine looking like that? Are you
No,
kidding?
no. Mm-mm. I've
Like
always had titties. I'm not supposed to. I actually might be an
Oh
outie. We
my
would
god.
never know. I've never lost enough to know.
Oh my god, Kyle.
uh, no, I can't
she
imagine it.
Oh
she
Lord.
looked absolutely incredible. I wouldn't mind seeing, doing her hot or not every week instead of Julie's.
It's going to be a hot
What we've been
every
getting.
single week. Are you
I was
kidding
gonna
me?
say, is there even a reason to do it? Like,
She
it's
could
just like
wear
what?
a
Right.
garbage bag and I'd be like, it's the most beautiful thing I've
Yes.
ever seen.
Wait, where's the sound effect? It reminds me of teen night at Heffron.
Wait, I say that again. You sounded a weird thing.
Oh, I said I love the air horn. It reminds me of teen night at Heffron's in Hop Hog.
Ha pa.
Hop Hog. um, any Hoosers, with that, there's somebody else that we need to discuss. Oh, Julie. Oh, Julie. What are we wearing this week?
I'll never get over that middle image.
The middle image is absolutely my favorite.
Oh wow.
We saw Julie on finale night wearing some blue. We're showing some shoulder. We're showing a little neck. We've got a fun belt matching, and this was, while it appears to be a dress in this picture, it is not. These were pants. Um, I'm assuming connected to the top.
Mm.
Um, my opinion was much ballyhooed, but I will still stand by what I said. I am very proud to say that I give this a hot. I love the color blue. I love the shoulder. It's unfortunate you don't see what she's holding here. This was the Big Brother cards. It was removed thanks to Canva. I thought it was part of the background. But I really liked this. I thought the open toe was fun. Um, I quite enjoyed this. I give this a hot. By the way, let us know if you're not voting. You need to know how you can do so. We don't really discuss the instructions very much. You can scan the QR code and you can submit your vote on your phone, or if you're in the comments on YouTube, does not work on the Twitter. Okay, they don't care about our votes. You can do hashtag hot, hashtag not, or if you live somewhere in the middle, hashtag tepid. So let us know what you think. And for you all now, the floor is open. What
Okay.
did you think
Okay.
about Julie's fit for the night?
I'm gonna be
Now
honest. My opinion changed throughout the night. I'll
it
tell you
did,
that.
huh?
Because when
Tell
I
us about it. What was your journey?
when I first saw her, obviously I love this color. I love it on her, but I also just love it in general. It's a gorgeous blue.
Beautiful.
Um,
Just beautiful.
I do like the asymmetry and the off the shoulder. Like I think it's really, really cute. What I was having a weird time with in the beginning was something about the shape of it. I feel like the waist needs to be it's a little like baggy around the belty area, and something about that wasn't doing it for me. I was like, I feel like this needs to just be like cinched more at the waist because the shaping looks weird.
Okay. Okay.
Like wasn't really vibing with it, but as the
Mm,
night went on and I saw her like moving around a little bit more and like just like kind of
very
like
flowy.
yeah, I was like I warmed up to it significantly more. So
Okay.
I when at first glance I was feeling a tepid, but now I feel like I'm gonna have to go with a hot. I think she
Oh, okay.
looks cute.
Okay. Welcome to the hot club. Welcome to the hot club. We sizzling over here. And here comes the dark cloud from the
Yep, there
ugly
it goes.
Baham house. What do you have to say?
I think that what's happening with you guys is that we've been so beaten down by so many terrible outfits this season by Julie that um, we're giving her too much credit.
Yeesh.
I do think that this was one of her better outfits during the season. I will say that. I do like the blue. I think she looks pretty good. But this is finale night. And like if this was like I don't know, like week 6 or something and she came out wearing this for eviction, I'd be like, all right, I like this. This is hot. But this is like a mid-season outfit. I'm sorry, this is not finale night outfit, and for that reason, I cannot go higher than a tepid.
Wow. Wow. That's rough. It's tough feedback. Tough feedback.
Listen, I respect all opinions. It just makes me crack up how much we go into this.
It's a very serious conversation.
I know. I cannot go higher than a tepid. I'm enjoying the symmetry, but I felt it was a little baggy above the waist. And it's really funny. Like, all of a sudden, we're fashion critics. We show up here in t-shirts, sweaters, and sweatpants.
Yeah, we're
We
tweeting
have
out a
the
sweater with
nerve
skulls
to
on
hug
it.
this woman. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it so much. But okay. I mean, at least you went up to a tepid. I did not expect to see you in that space.
That is, yes, I agree. I agree.
So
I thought you were
yeah,
going to be much harder on her, so I'll take it.
right. Especially because
No, well, I think that I don't think it's a terrible outfit. I just feel like this feels very lazy for finale night. That's all. Earlier in the season, I probably would have given this a hot, but just I don't know.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen. That's the beauty of democracy, right? We can say what we want and have a good vote. But I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. So that's it. Chelsea won unanimously. All right, no votes for Mackenzie.
Which I was surprised about because I feel like in the roundtable segment we were led to believe that definitely Angela and possibly Leo were both. So I wasn't expecting.
Is I can't hear you very well. Is that happening for you also,
Me?
Kyle? Now I hear you better.
Yeah, for that little blurb there, it sounded like you were underwater. But I
Did,
thought it was
did you
just
hear what I
me.
said though? Should I say it again?
I didn't hear
You should say it
anything you
again.
said.
Okay. So I was saying the round table did kind of lead me to believe that it wasn't going to be unanimous. I thought for sure Angela and possibly Leah were going to throw Mackenzie votes after we saw that conversation. So I
Mhm.
wasn't expecting it to be unanimous. I'm happy that it was, but I really didn't think that was going to be the case. Yes.
Raising
So,
your hand. We have
I
class
know.
and decorum on
I,
Strat.
I have a question about that because and it kind of ties back to something we were talking about earlier with Taylor now hosting these roundtables, right? And the fact that we like her going back at people. And okay, I do think, or I wonder if Taylor going back at Angela there kind of woke her up to be like, all right, you know what? I am just being a bitter juror. Like, and then I guess to piggyback on that, do you still like to see Taylor go back at people if it's possibly affecting votes? Like, could Angela have voted for Mackenzie because she like was not down with voting Chelsie? And then because of Taylor kind of like saying like, but you're kind of being ridiculous, Angela. And like, could that maybe get Angela to think like, all right, I should just vote for Chelsie.
I mean, honestly, to that last point, I think if there is no chance of the roundtable and the roundtable host swaying somebody's vote, why are we doing
Then
it?
what's the point of it
Like,
anyway?
I think the point of the roundtable is really to like get everything out in the open, all of the jurors openly talking about like, all right, they've probably had conversations about it in the jury house, but like, all right, let's really look at this objectively because we are the people choosing the winner. So what are we voting based on? What does this conversation look like? I think if there's no shot that any of that is going to change in like during that conversation, there's no point in doing it.
Right.
I think that's the
Now,
beauty of the roundtable, or
yeah.
it should be at least.
And I agree with that because I feel like I would much rather have the winner, like the best person that played the game, be chosen every year rather than people choosing someone that's not deserving just because they're bitter. So like,
Right.
if what we need is a host to like pry a little bit more and like really get in there and like make people think about who they want to vote for, like
Yeah,
I'm all for it. And I feel like that's what we get a lot too when we talk about Australian Survivor versus Survivor US. Like I think we all agree that Jonathan LaPaglia really goes into these like tribal councils a lot more, like with a lot more depth than Jeff does for our version of Survivor. So yeah, I'm just curious what you guys thought about that though.
Kyle, did you have a differing opinion on what the roundtable format should be?
In case you didn't
I
hear,
only heard a tail end of that, but I do enjoy a bitter jury vote.
Well, so this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying earlier though, about Taylor, because Gina was mentioning how she was very surprised that it was a unanimous vote, that at least like Angela or somebody else didn't throw a vote to Mackenzie. And so I said tying back into what we were talking earlier, where we were saying how we like that Taylor would kind of like go back at people because she actually watches the show. Like, I could see it being very likely that Angela, who up until that jury roundtable had been talking just negatively about Chelsie, didn't seem like she would vote for Chelsie. Did Taylor going back at her being like, but Angela, wait now, didn't you do this very thing that you're saying you didn't like that Chelsie did? Like, is that kind of questioning during the roundtable, could that lead to people maybe being swayed to change their vote away from being a bitter juror? Because like Taylor, okay, Taylor made Angela think there. Maybe that's what
No,
got her to
it's certainly
ultimately vote for Chelsie
possible.
instead of Mackenzie.
It's fun for conversation, but I don't know necessarily, because I do think that a bitter jury does make certain things interesting because it does bring the focus back to jury management.
Mm-hmm.
So I have mixed feelings on that. It's good conversation, but I almost wish that maybe you might stick to your guns. I don't know what I want there, to be honest. I like it as a viewer, but I don't like how. I don't have a fully formed thought on that because I really could argue either side.
That's fair.
Because I think that making sure that people don't feel bitter on the way out is part of the game, and that's something that's a little bit overlooked.
Yeah.
But Angela is also one of those people that like
Mhm.
likely would never get over it if not challenged. Like that's not something
Right,
that
right,
she's
right,
not.
right.
So yeah. Maybe she's just the anomaly to that, or like the exception rather. Um, hmm. Gonna have to mull that one over. See, but yeah, because I can argue this side. So
Mm-hmm.
I hear
Yeah,
you.
I support that.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
All right.
But that's that. Doesn't look like we're getting a Reindeer Games. We were hoping that
Uh,
Jinky was going to be the new host of Reindeer Games. It
what a
kind of
fitting end to the season, though. That stupid song was the send off. Like, this
fucking love it. I
weird
love
ass
it.
season.
But it's so perfect because it just
It
ties
really
into how
was.
silly this show and game
Yes.
is. Like it just felt like bringing Jinky back and not Ainsley is like, boy, does this tie into what the culture of Big Brother US
It
is.
really
Just
is. Yeah.
Janky,
silliness.
janky.
I need to order that hat.
I want one too.
Yeah, can we all just maybe we'll order them together and just
I
like
want
split
one
the
real bad.
shipping? Yeah, I want one. I want a hat. The shirt, I could probably only just put that over my left thigh, but like the trucker hat, I definitely could rock
No, I
at
would
least for
totally
the
get one.
podcast. Yeah, Jinky World. Um, And that's it. We have one question here before we end up having to move on to Survivor because we're supposed to be talking Survivor in 6 minutes, which we are absolutely prepared to do.
Ooh.
We'll take another question from the crowd. We have Blevins here asking, where does Chelsie rank overall as a winner? Top tier, middle? Was that one of the most masterful games? What do you think?
Yeah, I think at least in the modern Big Brother history, Chelsie is one of the best winners of all time. I've seen people on Twitter already saying that she is easily top three like strategic players of all time in Big Brother. Like the way that she was able to manipulate people, but still have them fight for her like every step of the way,
Mm-hmm.
right to the very end when the clear decision was definitely for Mackenzie to take Cam instead of her. Like she was still just controlling everything. She went from being in like a majority of alliance in the well, actually, she went in as one of those microchips with a
Yep.
punishment. So she started on the bottom, got
Mm-hmm.
into a majority of alliance that Quinn immediately blew up, and then she still recovered to keep her game, safe the whole way. Um, she won HOHs when she needed to. Like she may have won fewer comps than Mackenzie, but I felt like every comp that Chelsie won was super impactful. And in the times when she didn't win, it was clear that she didn't have to because she was still getting people to make moves for her, like having Mackenzie
Right.
take
Right.
Leah out, all these other things that Chelsie did. Like she was just super amazing at this game, and she has to be coming back as an all star if they have another all star season. She will absolutely be one of those all stars. I feel like.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I fully agree with that, but I will also add in, I feel like a lot of the people that we consider to be the top tier winners are either a social player or a strategic player, Whereas Chelsie, I feel like, was really giving like the best of both the entire season. Like
Yes.
her strategic game was unreal. The way that she managed to manipulate things and get people to do all of her dirty work for her. We saw her get this mastermind edit in her DRs from the very, very beginning, but also do so in a way that made people so endeared to her and want to stay loyal to her and still want to, like, didn't make people bitter with her. Like, yeah, Angela was bitter, but Angela's going to be bitter because Angela's Angela. But like,
right.
I think that she is a much more well-rounded player than so many of the winners that we've seen. She's definitely up there.
Yeah, she could be the most well-rounded player that I can think of, like, in history. Like, because like you said, Gina, it's the strategic and the social part of it, but the comp part of it too. She's probably she win the second most comps after
Mackenzie.
Well,
Mackenzie?
but it also, if you include part 1 of the HOH, she won the most HOHs in a season, period. If you don't count that part 1, she tied the record.
Yeah, I mean, she played a fantastically strong game. Absolutely. No, I absolutely deserve this. She's absolutely top tier. I don't think there's any way to argue around that at all. No, she was fantastic. Bobby came over and he was like, "Who are we rooting for?" I was like, "At this point, no one." I'm super fine with all of this.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm rooting for Mackenzie for the sake of the draft because I want bragging rights, but like Chelsie winning is in no way like I am not poo-pooing. Like
she's a perfect winner for the season. Perfect.
Right? Yeah, no, it's completely fine. Like there's usually you're like, oh, if this person wins, like I'm gonna be so pissed. No, I'd be super happy with whoever took this one.
And it had been hard to lose for weeks at that point.
And, like, big props to Mackenzie as well. Like, I love to see the loyalty. I think that's really, really fantastic. She's somebody who I would love to see play this game again because, like, it was very clear that she definitely came in as a recruit, right? She didn't really know what this game was, but she learned it as she went along and she adapted. She's got a great story and arc too. And to see her come back, I think she is going to be even more of a threat than she was in this game. Yeah. Let Mackenzie play this game again. You're going to have a real problem. You're going to want to get her out just like you wanted to get out Janelle. You know, I'm not putting her quite on the same level. I still think that Janelle is a little bit above, but she's like Janelle Jr. Yeah, she's Janelle Jr. for sure. Anytime she was in trouble, she got herself off. She didn't rely on the socialness of anyone else. I can't really remember any situation where Mackenzie was necessarily saved by the other people. I feel like she kind of owned her own shit.
Yeah.
So I love her. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah. I love Mackenzie too. I think she's got the best story. Like her arc might be the best of anybody. I know Chelsea's game and everything was like fantastic. Mackenzie might have the best arc, just the way because she was so on her own for so long. But I would love to see Mackenzie play Big Brother again. I would also love to see Mackenzie play the challenge.
Yeah. I also would have liked to see Mackenzie on Reindeer Games.
Reindeer Games
was coming.
I also, all jokes aside,
all
jokes aside, because I know that people gave Mackenzie a hard time for this season, and I was included in that just because I thought it was pretty funny. But why not have Mackenzie and her brother on The Amazing Race? Like all joke, I'm not even like making
truly
a joke or anything.
I watch it.
Like she talked about how close she was with her brother all season. Like I feel like Mackenzie could be on so many different shows now coming out of this.
Literally put her on the challenge immediately.
I don't disagree. Before we get out of here, would Gina like to say something good about Cam's game since he was your final team member here?
Obviously, he's not on the same level as everybody else, but there is something to be said about his social game because he was well-liked enough that nobody ever wanted to get rid of him. And while he maybe couldn't have won a competition to save his life and didn't really have a ton of agency in the game, he is a very nice man, and they liked him enough to want to like keep him around. You know, like there's something.
He's a pretty nice man.
There's something to be said about his social game taking him far enough that nobody wanted to get rid of him. You know, there's something. There's a little something there.
Do you think he'd be better on another show? Like, do you think like the competitions on the challenge would be more? Because he was a D1 athlete.
If I can be honest,
that has not turned out to mean anything.
No, but if I can speak my truth, honestly, I feel like in any other season of Big Brother where there aren't as many crapshooty equitable comps as we got this year, which again, that is a good thing. I'm glad they did that this year. I feel like in a lot of the previous seasons of Big Brother, he does significantly better in competitions.
It's possible. It's possible.
No, just nothing.
The
no,
silence
no.
was deafening.
That's
I'm
why I
sorry,
drafted him
like,
in the first place.
because
Like,
at
I
the
don't
end of the
know.
day, we're still playing carnival games. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
and it's like you didn't win anything. You didn't win anything.
Yeah,
I
but
guess
in the
Like,
past,
so
they
how much does it
skewed.
matter if you were a D1 athlete? You won nothing.
Well,
Like,
Yes,
it
but
still never hit
athleticism.
for you, not even once.
But
Like,
athleticism was such a bigger factor in a lot of the previous season's competitions. It just wasn't this
no,
year.
okay, but you also had a player like Tucker who is not a D1 athlete who kept winning. You had somebody like
I agree.
Rubina who
I
have
agree.
won things. You had Chemo who won things.
I'm
Like,
not
guess-
saying
Cam,
you're wrong. I'm just saying I
that's what I'm
think
saying.
these
Like,
just
I
weren't
just think
competitions that were catered to his strengths.
I'm
but then
wondering.
what are his strengths?
Well, so
Nothing catered
this is
to him. Like,
this-
zero.
So this is why I brought up the challenge, though. Like, let's say it is like the sort of thing where he's on there, and it's a daily challenge that involves a race, where like maybe the biggest thing is running a path and carrying a percentage of your body weight to get to some checkpoint, and like maybe he's strong enough and has good enough cardio to like do well on a show like the challenge that has challenges like that, as compared to BB26, where we had maybe the most equitable comps we've had in the history of the show.
I do not have faith in Cam. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. I think if there were more physical, athletic competitions, he could have done a little more something.
Okay. Well,
we'll see. Cam coming to the Challenge USA 3.
You never know.
we will see. We'll see.
Probably not.
Logan is also saying something really.
Whoa! I just
wild
was
over
reading
here.
that.
Oh,
That's
wait,
crazy.
hold on.
Talking about the Traders Finland.
that
apparently,
real?
Traders Finland had to
Oh.
delay the airing of the finale because one of the traders murdered their spouse in real life, and
Oh
their
my
spouse
God.
was a faithful on the same season. Listen, that is as good a reason as any to fire up the VPN
That
and
is
give it a gander.
crazy.
What do they speak in Finland? Do they speak Finnish? Like,
That's
am I
nuts.
gonna be able to watch? I have to
Wow.
see.
I'll
We have
watch
to
with
get out of here.
captions.
We have Survivor 47 to talk about. I'm just waiting for Mikey to send us a nasty text because we are 4 minutes past due.
I warned him.
Yeah, Gina told him we'd
okay.
be late. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. Not that he can really sass us because he's like late sometimes too. But that actually does not conclude our coverage of Big Brother 26. We'll be announcing the date soon, but we will be discussing this season with our friends Lewis and Michelle, who were on The Amazing Race, and Lewis also appeared on the Challenge USA 2. They are now Big Brother fans. They were at the viewing party with Ozza and House Chops last night in LA, and I know Lewis very, very much wants to discuss the season with us. Michelle has remained silent. So I don't really know if she gives two figs, but Lewis will definitely be here to be chatting the season with us. So our coverage is not over just because finale night happened and ended. We're not done. So we'll still be chatting Big Brother for at least one more stream, and we'll let you know when that will be. And this gives you all the more reason in the world to follow us on all the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We will be live. I would say give us 5 minutes. Give us 5 minutes to take another tinkle, get some water, and we'll be chatting Survivor 47 with our pod bestie, Mikey.
Yeah.
And that means Thursday. Thursday is a different night, right? Because we've got no Big Brother. We've got nothing else happening. So I would imagine we would at least be talking about the Challenge 40. We did not discuss that. That was not official. But for more
I
information,
kind of assumed that as well.
Yeah.
I assumed it, but we didn't discuss it. So, Stretch Chat Pod. Follow us and find out.